Is Spider-Man Homecoming the best Spider-Man film yet? I give you my unbiased review. Hi, how are you? It's great to see you. I'm RazMansReality, here to alter your reality on film, TV, and comics with unbiased reviews and discussion. So if this is your first time here and you're sharing that passion with me, then please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification icon so that you don't miss anything. Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below if you've seen Spider-Man Homecoming and if you think it was the best Spider-Man film yet. And if you haven't, what do you think the best Spider-Man film is that has been made so far? Director Jon Watts' Spider-Man Homecoming is of course a huge deal in cinematic history, as it's the first inclusion of Spider-Man inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And as we all know from trailers and marketing for the film, it made a point to make itself very, very different from all Spider-Man films before it. Instead of Uncle Ben, we see sort of a mentor-brother type relationship with Tony Stark, Iron Man. That difference isn't just there with character relationships between Peter and a mentor figure, but right from the very beginning, we get to see Spider-Man do things with his powers that we never really saw him do before, and explore to the fullest extent as early as he is in this film. The inclusion of Iron Man is also a great way to further the character along and justify why he would have such an advanced suit at such a young age. So, right from the word go, it's different. Right down not only to Spider-Man himself, but to his friendships and the reactions therein when one person in particular, Ned Leaves, discovers Peter's identity as Spider-Man. Michael Keaton, as you would expect, is brilliant as the Vulture, and his character motivations are very real and very grounded in reality. And that very realism factor allows for the film to then take comedic moments like Captain America being featured as a raw fitness guy in the film to be very, very well placed and very, very nice to see. However, because the film spends so much time concentrating on Peter and who Peter is as a person and the real life aspects of what would happen to Peter if he got these powers, then when we get to see him be Spider-Man, even in an awesome scene like this where he's very inventive, very on the fly to try and save the day, it's also thrown in our face that Peter's just not very good at being Spider-Man, and the entire film becomes somewhat predictable because since we know that he's not good yet at being Spider-Man, we then have to see him wrestle with the fact of who he is without his suit, and then of course come to the realization of what it truly means for him to be a hero rather than just a guy in a suit, and that he doesn't necessarily have to be an Avenger to be worthy of anything. So, while the film's plotline is predictable and nothing I said can be considered very spoiler worthy in my opinion because it was all set up from the trailer, what the film does really well is it allows you to know what kind of story you're going to have, but presented in a way that you didn't see before. If you saw any of the trailers for this film, you're not going to be spoiled by how the story unfolds and all of the things that come with how the story progresses. I think the film's strength of doing something different is definitely what makes it stand out and stand apart from the rest. However, I think those very efforts on concentrating to be so different are in fact the detriment to the film, and the only thing that keeps the film from being the best Spider-Man film to date in this reviewer's opinion, because we don't get to see him be Spider-Man enough. It's more or less a character human story with superpowers and a famous superhero in the background than a Spider-Man movie. However, the pacing, the relationship between the characters, and the fact that it is so grounded in realism and that there's such a clear path of where they're going to go with the character over time does make it, in my opinion, the second best Spider-Man film of all time. I give Spider-Man Homecoming a solid 4.5 out of 5 stars. Extremely enjoyable and extremely worth going to see in the cinema. I'm sorry that I didn't have more to say about it, but it was so incredibly hard to discuss this film without going into any spoilers whatsoever. Because, as I've stated in this very video, the entire thing that makes this film worth experiencing is its plotline. So without being able to discuss that plotline, it kind of hinders my ability as a reviewer. So I therefore will have much more to say about the film when I'm able to delve into my Easter eggs and what they mean for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe next week. As always, if you'd like to pick up anything Spider-Man related from Amazon, I will have affiliate links down below in the description at no extra cost to you. Just helps me to be able to move forward as a creator to bring you more awesome videos like this one. If you want more unbiased reviews and discussion, then hit the round subscribe icon down below and you will continue to have your reality altered. And as always, this has been your RazMansReality Check.